Well, good afternoon, and I'm pleased to be here. Hopefully, when I get through, you'll have been pleased to have been here. And as far as my talents are concerned, I'm a biochemist, biophysicist. I have spent time in academia looking at stroke and heart disease and the influence of blood viscosity, red cell deformability, and a whole other biophysical parameters on blood flow. And after leaving academia, I decided to go into what was my original love, and that was chemistry, biochemistry, and we specialize in hormone testing. We do other things, but hormone testing is probably my greatest interest at this point, and I hope to get you excited about it. I want to familiarize you with the concepts and benefits of hormone profiling, which is not to be confused with hormone testing. First, I want to discuss with you the benefits and importance of hormone profiling. And we distinguish hormone profiling from hormone testing in that hormone testing is usually confined to looking at one or another, or perhaps even two or three primary hormones, for example, estradiol, testosterone, or cortisol, in isolation, and perhaps also at different points in time. You know, you'll test somebody, well, let's measure your estrogen, and the next time a person comes in and says, well, you know, that didn't give me a lot of information. Maybe we should look at your, FSH and progesterone, and so on it goes. So you get data which is temporarily disconnected from each other, and it ultimately provides you with not a lot of information. And it erases any relationship that these hormones might have had at any given point in time. I want to help you identify patient populations that are most likely to benefit from hormone profiling. And I want to impress upon you why you, as physicians, should care how laboratories process samples and measure hormones in them, because believe me, in this regard, not all laboratories are created equal. And what you get ultimately will make a big difference to your patient, and I'll get into that a little later. So, to distinguish it a little bit, you don't particularly care how glucose is measured in the lab, because everybody measures it the same way. It's a glucose hexokinase reaction, and the values differ very little. With hormones, it's completely different. With hormones, you also have to choose an appropriate analytical matrix. And I want to provide some guidance for choosing the appropriate analytical matrix. Now, what do I mean by matrix? The matrix is the material, that is, the biological material, be it fluid or tissue, in which the analyte or hormone of interest is found. And analyzing for a hormone in a biological sample, that is the matrix, is like finding a needle in the haystack. And there is a needle in there someplace, if I can. There's a needle there. And one must isolate and specifically identify and quantitate the hormone of interest to the exclusion of all other components, not just other hormones, but all other components. And there are thousands and tens of thousands of them in any biological material, be it a fluid or a tissue. So why does one want to profile hormones? Well, let's define what a profile is. It's providing you the rationale for doing hormone profiling. A profile provides a picture of a group of data which, seen together, reveal traits or characteristics that are impossible to discern from single points of data seen in isolation or at different points in time. In this case, and I stress it, in this case, the whole is much greater than the sum of its parts. Far from being too much information, I'm always reminded of the Mozart movie of the king complaining too many notes. Far from being too much information, a hormone profile offers complete information. The complex metabolic pathways of sex and adrenal steroid hormones mean that misassaying only one or another primary hormone often fails to provide information critical for correct diagnosis and appropriate treatment. Profiling allows analysis of complex mixtures of hormones through which biosynthetic or catabolic pathways and the associated enzymatic activities can be deduced. People have been doing hormone profiling for some time, but for some reason they really didn't make the connection that as a result of getting the results, they could actually draw inferences upon the enzyme activities which convert one hormone into the other. All of these things are interconnected.